Hello, friends. Welcome to Spike Week. I'm Erik Beimfohr, and on tonight's show, a little special edition of a Monday night best ball stream. Normally on Monday nights, myself and Rob Cook breaking down all things best ball, having a little bit of fun in the best ball basement. But we're in the thick of it. Rob and I are live tomorrow night, so I figured, you know what? Let's hop into a high stakes draft. Tonight, we're going to be drafting in the Draftkings $555 Monster Millionaire, a $5 million prize pool with a $1 million top prize. We're going to see if we can't take home that $1 million top prize here tonight, live on Spike Week. Let's do it. Good evening, J. Mike, and everyone watching. This is totally ad hoc. Welcome. Yes, snap surprise stream, not even Versair's birthday, also not notably not my birthday. The last time I did a snap surprise stream, it was, however, on my birthday with the good old legend Pat Crane from the Legendary Upside. But tonight we're going to draft a 555 team, hopefully. Let's see if it fills. I think they're picking up some pace here over on old Draftkings.com in the Monster Millionaire. Let's go over here. So it looks like, yeah, almost 6,000 total entries into the tournament out of, call it 10K. So it'll be full at about 10,000 entries, and we're up to almost 6,000. So the pace has been picking up. Last year, what happened in this tournament was it filled kind of like this weekend. So that's sort of my expectation, honestly, is that this thing really starts to pick up the pace at the end of the summer, and particularly like this week, this like last week and a half or so, the pace on this 555 really picks up. So I was like, you know what, Rob, it's tied up tonight. We're going to do the best ball basement tomorrow night. And so let's go ahead and hop into a 555. I believe 8 into this tournament. So this will be number 9. Most of them have been slows. Most of them are still ongoing slows. Of course, we have a series in here on this YouTube channel, which, of course, if you're here and you've never watched us before, hit that subscribe button. If you're here and you have watched us before, or you haven't, hit the thumbs up button while we're waiting for this to fill. That would be spectacular. But we have the first 7 rounds of picks out with myself, Rob Coakley, and our buddy B. Kurt, Bernie, breaking down all of our kind of logic and thought process behind a high stakes draft, and how do we approach it a little bit differently? How are the 3 of us kind of working together to come to a conclusion on each of our individual picks? And it has been a heck of a roller coaster. I have 2 more videos to post from that 555 team. We're actually almost done with that 555 draft, and we will do kind of a final recap recording podcast, little minisode podcast. But this tournament is a ton of fun, and I'm super excited. Last year was lucky enough to make the final. Now I think I have to go back and look. I'm pretty sure I finished second to last in the final of the 555 last year, but I drafted 20 teams into this tournament. Looks like we're 10 of 12. So if anybody wants to come in and, it's notably not very plus EV to draft into this tournament on stream. We shall see. But last year, drafted 20 teams, got 2 into the semifinals, and made the finals in this tournament. So that is only 1 season of results, and then ultimately means nothing. But it was a tournament that I had quite a bit of success in last season. However, by the time our team got to the finals, everything went to shit. I had no tight ends. I had a bunch of injuries. James Conner and Chuba Hubbard carried us there, and then weren't playing, and David Njoku wasn't playing, and it didn't go well in the finals, despite having Malik Neighbors, who went crazy. But I think this tournament is a ton of fun if your bankroll can support something like this, something like the $250 single entry on DraftKings. I know the good folks in our Discord today were getting a $100 3-entry max tournament on DraftKings filled today. They have a ton of different options if you want to move up a little bit in stakes. And what happens when you move up in stakes is, of course, the first round, right? Weeks 1 through 14, the advancements don't change. It's still 2 out of 12 to advance on DraftKings, which I actually like, because what happens then is in weeks 15, week 16, and week 17, it gets much easier to advance or much easier to win the tournament if you are able to get to week 17. So this tournament, a ton of fun, and obviously $1 million up top. You don't get a better sweat, much of a better sweat than that, with only this year, I believe, 52 people in the final of this tournament. We can go ahead and pull up the contest details really quickly. So as you see, first and second do advance just like usual on almost all best ball sites, but especially on DraftKings. And then you'll have an 8-person pod in week 15, and all you got to do is get top 2. So that's much better than many of the other tournaments. In week 3, it's another 8-person pod, which is, again, much better. It's like Best Ball Mania, 16 people in that pod, of course. You do have to get first in round 3, week 16, but then it is, 52 total entries into week 17, and it's a $10,000 minimum cash. So that's pretty nice. All right, let's see. What's been one win from your day? That is a very interesting question. I've been complaining also, so let's be positive, because I've been complaining about this all summer. It's just been an outrageously hot summer here. So I'm located just outside of St. Louis, actually in Illinois, but just outside of St. Louis. And it has been truly miserable. And I have two dogs that you've probably seen on the show if you've joined us before. They're brothers. They're 9 years old. They're from the same litter, which don't ever do that. I'll never do that again. But we rescued them when they were puppies. And they are Husky German Shepherd mix. And that means when it's summer, they're shedding everywhere. But also they're getting a little bit older, and the heat can be not so great for a husky, right? They got a bunch of husky in them. And so the weather cooling down, us getting out there, we've already done 2 walks today. We did our morning walk, and then we did an afternoon walk. And so getting out and enjoying the beautiful weather, drafting a bunch of best ball teams. I have drafted a little more college football best ball teams today than NFL, actually, but excited nonetheless to draft this team. And we've already had a very successful day. Updated the rankings, started writing a couple of pieces, and started putting together some early Battle Royale rankings. So like you asked for 1 win, and I just gave you what I think would be 6 or 7. It's been a good day. Good afternoon, D. Ross. Seeing you on the Best Ball Bros video holding up a plate of hot dogs with no context was great. So I haven't. So multiple people have messaged me about this, and I love Pete. Pete is just the absolute best. I haven't watched yet, so I don't know. I have zero context. So like, you have no context with that. I don't know what I can't wait to watch the video later, but I have no idea in what light was he showing me. Like, obviously this hot dog bit has been a multi-year running thing. If you're unfamiliar, I think it was 3 years ago. Rob is busy, but if he were available, he would have to correct me, or maybe one of you guys remember. It's on the YouTube channel. So myself and one of the other Spike Weekers, Rob Coakley, who of course does what we would normally be doing tonight and we'll be doing tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern, the Best Ball Basement Show. He does Sunday morning, Sunday Sickos here, where he drafts teams on Sunday mornings. We did a 4th of July hot dog eating contest show where we drafted a team, and for every time we made a pick, we had to eat a hot dog, right? Like Joey Chestnut or Kobayashi or something like that. I got 8 and bun and everything. And so we took it very seriously, and that has been a long running bit for years. And so it came back up again this year, where I agreed to eat some hot dogs from a stream that I made some mistakes. I'm going to take Jahmyr Gibbs here. Actually, I know the wide receiver bro is, but CeeDee Lamb goes off the Shuby. Shout out to our good AE Jones in the draft, and then I know Shuby's right here next to me. Takes CeeDee, so I'm gonna go ahead and take Jahmyr Gibbs and see if we can't still make the wide receiver room work. This is, of course, what we did in our co-managed 555, co-drafted 555. Myself, Rob, and Bernie took Jahmyr Gibbs in the first round. I think we'll be all right with some of the wide receiver values, but we'll see. How do you feel about Breece Hall this year in full PPR? And who do you like more between Hampton? Oh, boy. Who do you like more between Hampton and Travion Henderson? Breece Hall in full PPR is still not much of a target for me, certainly not at his current cost, really, in any format. The problem is he is in a 3-way committee, and so far, these are small samples. Things can change in the regular season. I think it's certainly possible that Breece just like wins out in this backfield. But all Aaron Glenn does is keep talking about how they have 3 backs that they love. They're going to use all 3 backs, and all they did in the preseason was use all 3 backs. And specifically, Breece Hall was not playing on passing downs. So Isaiah Davis and even Braylon Allen were playing on passing downs. I think Breece is going to like have an okay season, but at his cost, it's a little bit tricky for me. I haven't been drafting Breece. And who do I prefer between Omarion Hampton and Travion Henderson? I'm just going to go ahead and say I have Omarion Hampton ranked ahead of Travion Henderson, and so I'm cheating. But at cost, just give me Travion. We flag planted Travion this year. Pi says this is the best tournament in best ball. Obviously, it's out of it's out of many bankrolls. It's certainly not something that like everyone can participate in. So that part sucks. But I think in terms of the structure, the ability to, with a small number of teams, like I said, I didn't like max this. Like there's a bunch of people out here like these crazy whales that have significantly bigger bankrolls than I do out here, like maxing this tournament for almost 100K and or even drafting a ton more teams than I do. I plan to do about similar to what I did last year with something around 20, and was able to advance. I think advance like 8 of the 20 last year or something like that. I do like to save those teams for closer to the end of the season, which I do think helps from an advance rate perspective. But it's an awesome tournament because if any team that you advance is like, you feel instantly live for $1 million because there's only 8 teams in each of those weeks 15 and 16, and it's really not as difficult to advance in this tournament as it is in many of the other best ball tournaments. There we go. Let's not reduce Eric's EV any more than it already is. My favorite players like Jacoby Myers. We'll be breaking all that down tomorrow morning, I promise. Jacoby Myers, Amari Cooper, etc. Who are your favorite 20th round picks on DraftKings? We'll get to it. I don't want to give them all away, just in case. It's weird how much he likes Jacoby. Favorite structure for DraftKings? I'm very much a 0 running back bro on DraftKings. I drafted Jahmyr Gibbs, but like 0 hero, right? 0 running back principles, if you will, on DraftKings, I think are absolutely awesome. So, you can still draft a Jahmyr Gibbs and build like a 0 running back principled team. And I actually think that's a significant edge. So one of the great things about being willing to draft 0 running back principles is being able to get one of my single favorite targets in all of best ball this year, but in all of DraftKings, specifically Trey McBride, which is who I'm taking here in the second. My good friend Hacker thought we were getting seedy. I really did, but let's see. Lad, Bucky, Jacobs, and JSN go. let's do. So we did this start with Josh Allen. Let's do this with Lamar Jackson. So if you've watched the 555 series, which I can, after we're done with the video, I can put the links in the description to the series of 555 videos that myself, Rob, and Bernie have done. We did a similar start to this, but where we took Jahmyr Gibbs, Trey McBride, and then Josh Allen, using what I do believe are some insane ADPs in these middle rounds at wide receiver that I can, right? One of the huge features of like being a zero running back bro is you can actually start like this and then continue to use zero running back principles and just hammer wide receivers. We've gotten positive news about Josh Downs. We've gotten positive news about Juwan Jennings. Like, I know there was a report about him like going on IR, but Kyle Shanahan is saying he's healthy and like they're expecting him like back. So forgive me if I'm going to listen. Now, Kyle Shanahan can lie, but I forgive me if I'm not going to listen more to Kyle Shanahan talking about the health of Juwan Jennings than a beat reporter making speculation. Jaden Reed is going outside of the top 100 now. There's like so many, Chris Olave goes in the 70s. I suspect Deebo Samuel's going to start falling with Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin's ADP is really advantageous himself. Zay Flowers sometimes goes in the 60s. There's so many wide receivers in this middle range that I love. CeeDee Lamb is my 102. I agree with what Shuby did at the 102, but Jahmyr Gibbs is my 103, partially because I can do stuff like this and use how we would structure teams as a zero running back bro, and not even take a wide receiver in the first 3 rounds and still build out a killer wide receiver room. Use it to, use those principles to build a sick team that doesn't even have a first 3-round wide receiver, because I know how everyone else is going to draft these kinds of teams. They're not going to be able to resist the 6th or 7th round running back, right? The Isaiah Pacheco is irresistible to this team. And they also are going to draft Jerry Jeudy, and they used to draft Jacoby Myers and Cortland Sutton. And I don't even necessarily totally hate those guys outside of Jacoby Myers, and I do hate Jerry Jeudy. I'm lying. I'm trying to be nice. I hate them all. They're terrible picks. But that's how everyone else drafts those teams. Calvin Ridley, right? All of those guys are all of the boring, projectable volume DK Metcalf ass picks are on these teams, and we can build it a little bit differently. This was the other. So I don't know if you saw this hack. That's what I was toying with. I might have even hovered my mouse over Mike Evans. It was either Trey McBride or I was hovering over Mike Evans. That was the alternative that Kyle Shanahan said CMC. So look, I get it. Trust me, I get it. But so did the beats. The same beat writers who are saying Juwan Jennings is going to go on IR, they're pulling it out of their ass. They're just saying it's possible, and it is possible. In before, why did Shuby take Will Shipley? So this is what I'm talking about. T-Mac, Tet McMillan, from falling to pick 46 is like, I can get a top 10 pick rookie wide receiver at pick 4, like damn near the 4 or 5 turn. So you can sign me up for that. I saw that mouse hovering over James Cook and got worried. I can assure you I was not taking James Cook. That is for sure. Sam says, that's crazy maxing it. I got 10 in and feel good. Yeah, dude. 100K. 100K. Like, you could just get wiped out of 100K. If you draft 150, you should theoretically at least advance some. But like, if you have a bad season, man, tough scene. So this is when I'm going to go get. Let's do Zay. I know Zay falls, but I just want the stack with Lamar. So let's do Zay. I could take Devontae, right? I have Devontae Smith ranked just ahead of Zay Flowers. I could take Devontae, but I kind of got the T-Mac gift there that I feel very excited about. And so just taking the stack with Lamar, I think is the best way to go, especially in full point PPR. Love me some Zay Flowers. Yeah, I've been buying the Jennings. I've been buying the South asking about, do we need a cool on Jennings? Kind of the opposite for me. Like even if he goes on IR, I mean, I don't think he's going on IR, but that's just a gut take. What do I know? Even if he misses week 1 or week 2, even if he goes on IR, like it's going to be okay. You have receivers for those first few weeks. When he comes back, they're still not going to have Brandon Ayuk, because you know who's really going on IR is Brandon Ayuk. You know who's also really going on IR? Jacob Cowing and Jordan Watkins. They still don't have other wide receivers. Like, they're in trouble. Demarcus Robinson is for sure getting suspended. So I think that they're going to figure this thing out with Juwan, and we get a Terry McLaurin kind of outcome here. And even if we don't, unfortunately, the players have no leverage, and Juwan really has no leverage. And so I'm gonna go ahead and sorry, I realized I was not very zoomed in here, but I'm buying the Juwan dip. Favorite last round tight end? Well, my favorite last round tight end was extremely obvious, and he is also no longer going in the last round because people finally got wise. The preseason is so exhilarating and like fulfilling, and also so frustrating, because sometimes you get the Harold Fannin outcome where you've been drafting a shitload of Harold Fannin. So I'll show you how much exposure I have to Harold. So let's go look at tight end real quick, just so you can see. So I have 24% Harold Fannin, right, on DraftKings. I've been drafting the ever-loving shit out of him. And frankly, I feel bad about only having 24%. That tells you how I feel about Harold Fannin. I think I was a coward. I think I believed in it, and I definitely put my cojones on the table a little bit, but like not all the way. They were sliding off sometimes. You know what I mean? He was my guy, and then he goes out and he's like doing absolutely everything that we thought he was going to do. He's playing with the ones. He's moving around the formation. He's playing receiver. He's lining up in the backfield. He's playing tight end. He's everything that we've been saying for 3 months Harold Fannin was going to be. He did it. And then, of course, he lines up at the X receiver position, runs a quick slant, and scores a goal line touchdown. And he is skyrocketing up boards because people are like, oh, that thing everyone's been saying about Harold Fannin is real, because I saw him score a touchdown in a preseason game. So now he's moving up, but I'm going to cheat and still say Harold Fannin. Slam dunk. Yeah. Are you out on Pearsall in the 5th? I would not say out, but I'm not currently taking him over Devontae Smith, as an example. I try not to take him over Zay Flowers, but sometimes Zay falls really far, and like you can push him and see if you can get 6th round Zay. But I have Pearsall and Ibuka ranked after like the Devontae and Zay Flowers group. So I have nice big bags of Pearsall and Ibuka both, so I'm a little bit biased in that regard. If you don't have any and you have, the price of the brick went up, you got to pay it if you want some. But for me, I'm not going to get out over my skis on 5th round Ricky Pearsall. There's also other formats we can draft Ricky Pearsall in that's still 5th round is a good price. Yeah, slam dunk. I know. So week 17 is not like a huge deal in this tournament. Only 52 people there, but I think Matthew Golden is an awesome pick anyway. At pick 70, a rookie wide receiver on the Green Bay Packers, 1st round pick wide receiver. Sign me up for that, especially on a wide receiver needy team. And it certainly doesn't hurt that he plays against my Lamar and Zay stack in week 17. Oh my gosh, Wade, 40% Harold Fannin. I love it. That is putting the cojones on the table right there. That's what I'm talking about. How's the team looking? Says Al. I'm loving it for a team that does not have a wide receiver in the first 3 rounds, which is certainly outside of my comfort zone. I'm loving it. McDonald's, Donovan McNabb. I'm loving it. Yeah, see, so this is I can just take Chris Olave here at pick 75, and I'm just like, I understand if like anyone has like concerns about these wide receivers, T-Mac, Zay Flowers, Matthew Golden, and Chris Olave. But if you want to dig out of the start that I had, this is such a beautiful way to do it. You're blending some of the like Olave. I understand the Saints' concerns, but like he's going to get the football. You're getting a form of a floor plus a ceiling from the talent that is Chris Olave. If the Saints are a little bit better, or frankly, if the Saints are just as bad as we think, that means they're going to have to pass a lot. Chris Olave was moving into the slot in the preseason game. I think that Devon Vele ultimately takes that role, but nonetheless, short-term bullish for Chris Olave. I love Zay Flowers and the combination of the two rookies. I mean, 2 first-round pick rookies with Lamar's wide receiver 1 and Chris Olave is an outstanding way to dig out of a wide receiver hole, of which I put myself in by starting Jahmyr Gibbs, Trey McBride, Lamar Jackson. Yeah, sorry, Bernie. No soup for you, brother, on this team. We built a shittier version of this team. It could be worse. It could be worse. We might have to. We're flying, man. I honestly was worried about how long it would take to fill this. So we're cooking with gas here, man. QJ going undrafted due to a concussion? I don't think so. Maybe on underdog, but I'm not personally concerned about Quentin Johnston. Yeah, I mean it's not nothing, right? It's like from a aren't you worried perspective. Like, is there some small concerns for Quentin Johnston? Of course, but generally speaking, the concussions are just not that big of a deal, right? Sad. It's a sad part of the NFL, but it is what it is. T-Mac will be a smash. Olave you'll have for 6 weeks. For 6 weeks. That's funny. Hopefully longer than 6 weeks, but well, let's see if I'm about to get my feet put to the fire on the Juwan thing. So there you go. See, pick 94, Juwan. Like Juwan Jennings, wide receiver 5. I think I'm pretty comfortable with that. Like Juwan Jennings after Marvin Mims, I think we've jumped the shark a little bit. Sorry to Jay Merritt if you're in the draft. I'm a little sad Jaden Reed didn't come back, but that's okay. Beggars can't be choosers. Let's see here. I'm going to put Charbs in the queue because I absolutely love Zach Charbonnet. I think he's a great fit on this team. A lot of the stuff got wiped out. I could do the Saints thing that I don't totally hate. You know what? Let's do the Saints thing. The Saints pass game is going to get me through for a while. I'm not going to take Spencer Rattler. I'm not going to take Tyler Shuck, but I have outs to other quarterbacks. Obviously, with T-Mac and Matthew Golden, Purdy is not going to make it back. If he does, awesome, slam dunk. But just using the Saints as kind of cheap, right? A cheap secondary passing stack to get me through on this team. Exactly. I was just going to say it also sets up, as Hacker mentions here, a Cam Ward, Io Manor, and of course, I'm going to target the aforementioned Harold Fannin as my tight end too. But if it doesn't work out, it gives me outs to Chigakonkwo and kind of sets up that which actually is like if you want to talk about a bad team shootout, right? Nobody ever talks about the Week 17 game that is the Tennessee Titans and the New Orleans Saints, and I get it because that's gross. No, that's not. It's much more fun to talk about the exciting games, the exciting real life games. But you want to talk about a bad team shootout? That's an awesome, not like there's not going to be 80 points, but like those are two bad defenses. The Saints, especially, if you get some of these wide receivers there and Cam Ward can cook in that Week 17 matchup, it's pretty fun. Tennessee, New Orleans is my Super Bowl, says Pi. I love it. Martin also. So you guys are hip to it. We're not bringing anything to the chat too sharp, man. We get 10 days out from the season. The chat is too sharp. That's great. Notably, last year, myself and Rob made a bet of who would score more. I think score more fantasy points or something like that. He thought he hated Curtis Samuel so much he chose Juwan Jennings, and I thought that was absolutely ridiculous. And I chose Curtis Samuel over Juwan Jennings, and boy, oh boy, was that stupid. I like Fannin, but I can't figure out why Cleveland would move on from Njoku this season if they were going to move on. Why not before June 1st? So I don't really think it matters. I don't think they have to move on from Harold Fannin. If you watch the preseason game, Harold Fannin is playing alongside David Njoku. So don't think of him as Don't think of him as tight end 2 on the Cleveland Browns. Think of him as like a kind of a chess piece that moves around on the offense. He's going to play some wide receiver. He's going to play some big slot. He's going to play in the backfield a little bit. He's going to play some traditional tight end. So don't worry about it too much, in my opinion, in terms of his role with the offense. Sorry, I'm looking around a little bit here. I need to look at. Let's wait on quarterback. You want to also talk about digging out of a hole? Let's do Luther Burden. Godwin's really tempting, but I'm going to do Luther Burden. Kind of match Luther, right? The Olave Shaheed plus Burden is a really fun way to kind of combine some wide receiver archetypes where, look, Luther Burden is probably not going to be a smash in week 1, but I shouldn't need him in week 1. I have a bunch of guys that are scoring points over the course of the first few weeks. That was sort of what the Saints provided, that cover for me at the wide receiver position to be able to take some swings, right? Luther Burden, you guys know some of the other, the Troy Franklins of the world that I'll like later, the Io Manners of the world that we're going to be targeting on this team. Jordan Love does go. So if that was something I was thinking about, do want to just look at the quarterback ADPs. We should be all right coming back to us here. We'll pick at one. It's always tricky. We're going to take a bit of a risk here at pick. So as I think about this now, I'm going to pull up. I know this is going to seem bold, but I want to make sure I get Dylan Sampson on this team. So I'm going to pull up Sampson here. The alternative would have been to pull up like a Cam Ward or a Bryce Young, but I kind of want to see what happens at the quarterback. Obviously, we've defined rounds like 9 to 11 as the red wedding especially on DraftKings. On DraftKings, that's the color of the quarterbacks, where these guys just start flying off the boards. And so it can be, if you're taking one thing away from this show, if you're taking two things, it would be Harold Fannin and this. And it is the quarterback stuff on DraftKings can get really risky. So if I weren't streaming this draft, and now granted Shuby doesn't pick in between, but I know Shuby is going to take some guys that I'm probably going to like. So just Dylan Sampson is an egregious price, in my opinion, an absolutely egregious price. And so I just want him on my teams. And so if I got to pull him up a round or two, so be it. Hopefully in a 5-5-5 draft, using the fact that this is sharper drafters, higher stakes drafters, they shouldn't be going out of their way, theoretically, to take all of these quarterbacks. But it is a risk on old DraftKings.com. See, told you. Shuby out of the 102. Not happy that I took Sampson. How do you feel about Arroyo? Rumors claim he may be used as the X in Seattle, similar to Fannin, maybe. Yeah, I don't think my personal opinion is I don't think Elijah Arroyo is as good as Harold Fannin. I also don't think he's going to be used as the X because they also love Torrey Horton and they like Jake Bobo, and certainly Jackson Smith and Jigba and Cooper Kupp are going to play, and MVS is there. I think he's going to be in more of in a true committee as a tight end, and maybe they do move him around. I think he's like a big play down the field tight end, which is somewhat appealing from a best ball perspective, but I also would like a little bit more volume. I also think the Seahawks, I'm fully Seahawks pilled this year. So I've mentioned like 1,000 times on different shows. I bet the Seahawks plus 550 to win the NFC West. I think that they might be the best team in the division, given all the 49ers issues, given the Stafford back issues. I'm not a Cardinals believer. And so I don't know that they have, like, the Browns have an out to, they're not very good. And that's not just an out. It's probably the most likely scenario. They're not good. And so down the stretch, let's just see what we got in Harold Fannin. Let's let him cook. But if the Seahawks are competing for the playoffs, if Arroyo's their just best guy, sure, go for it. But I'm not sure that that's the case. Okay. I could take anyone here probably because I don't think both Bryce and Cam are going to go. Holy hell. But you know what? Let's get an Ollie Gordon share in the 555. Let's get an Ollie Gordon share. See what the 101 and 102 do. They both have two quarterbacks. I knew it was either Algier, but I have so much Tyler Algier. I wanted to see kind of how this turn played out. Let's get an Ollie Gordon share. Plenty of good picks in rounds 18 to 20, says Wade. I could not possibly agree more. I actually have too many picks in the later rounds. It's hard for me. Like, I start to map out my draft in like round 8 to be like, okay, what are we going to do? Because there's so many guys. Of course, Shuby is just taking my guys there to trigger me. I am going to take Cam Ward over Tua and Bryce Young. I think just a little bit better fit on this team, but we'll see how that turns out. I'm pretty excited about it. Amari next. So full respect if you like Amari Cooper. We're name dropping niche DFS, but I was just talking to my good friend Cal Spears right before this, and he and I are at odds on he really liked the Keenan and the Amari Cooper stuff, and I was like, I fully respect your commitment. He texted me about Amari Cooper months ago, and he's, I guess, been taking him. So he's feeling very excited today, and also has been feeling excited about Keenan Allen. I'm not. That's not my bag. I don't live in the world of the super old free agent wide receivers all that much. I understand why someone would. It's just not how I really like to play. I prefer to take the younger guys and try to swing for the big time breakouts, and I'm willing to accept kind of the losses that come with like a good Keenan Allen season and a good Amari Cooper season. I just don't foresee them as being like home run type picks, and I'm comfortable just ignoring those guys. Running back got wiped out. Shuby says, yeah, dude, brother. Yeah, I'm not mad at you. Algier Shipley is a slam dunk right there. I can't blame you for it. I just have, as you know, I have a used Kia on Will Shipley already, and on Tyler Algier. Maybe the used Kia on Shipley is like, a 2010 or something. I'm not good at car pricing. The used Kia on Shipley is like a 2015, but the used Kia on Algier is like a 2010 or something like that. So I'm with you 100%. Thoughts on Rasheed? Can't stop drafting him. Top 5 fantasy upside for so cheap. Can even make the argument that the suspension will kill his advance rate, making him an even better playoffs guy. He's been arguably the two most bizarre situations and most difficult guys to figure out this year are Rasheed Rice, in my opinion, and Travis Hunter, and for very similar reasons. And so I got no. If someone wants to absolutely hammer Rasheed Rice, I get it, and so I took a long pause, and down the home stretch here a little bit, I am taking Rasheed Rice. So I'm with you. I should have looked ahead a little bit better, by the way. I see Chris Rodriguez. I'm feeling really triggered here. I don't trust Shuby at all next to me, and I don't know what his team looks like, but I'm just gonna take my guy. He has Hawk, and that's it. So I'm just playing it safe. I understand this is not where I would normally take Harold Fannin, but I have sickos in the room with me, and we just got to go get our guys. That's what I was trying to decide between. Yeah, so I love this. On a hero running back team, I'm going to take Tyjae Spears at pick 171. I think that the injury stuff is baked in. I just really wanted to make sure that I didn't lose Harold Fannin on this team. So a quick recap through 15 of the 20 rounds. In this draft, we started with Jahmyr Gibbs. We started with a 0 wide receiver team, which is very unique for me. But a Jahmyr Gibbs, Trey McBride, Lamar Jackson. Nice little fall on T-Mac, Tetaroa McMillan in the 4th, comes back to the 410. Zay Flowers, of course, stacked with Lamar Jackson. Matthew Golden, I think a good pick. And it helps. It doesn't hurt that he plays against Lamar and Zay in the finals. Chris Olave, Jawan Jennings, Rashid Shaheed, Luther Burden, Dylan Sampson, Ollie Gordon. Then we take Cam Ward. Of course, plays against those Saints wide receivers in week 17, and we really needed a quarterback too. Could not push that one anymore, for sure. Harold Fannin, just get our guy, Harold Fannin, and then Tyjae Spears buying the. I understand he's injured. I'm not. No pushback for me that the guy is hurt, right? But at pick 171, like, what running back are you counting on in the first couple of weeks of the season? I hope I'm not counting on Tyjae Spears in the first couple of weeks of the season. So I think with a Cam Ward team and this kind of the way we've built out this team, I think it's the perfect time to take Tyjae Spears. Good evening, MDS. Joe says he loves this team because it has Ollie and Harold Fannin. I love it. I thought you were going to take Shipley for sure. I was excited for an Ollie team, says Shuby. Yeah, as you know, as everyone knows, and if you don't know, now you do know. Will Shipley, I just have monumental bags of Will Shipley, and I really did want to get a little bit of I'm not sure I'll have another Ollie Gordon 555 team because the price has gotten pretty steamy. So I thought this would be an appropriate fit for him here. But we are at let's change this over here to let's see. Let's do the playoff. Let's do playoff view. So we got a couple of week 17 stacks going on over there. Okay, I am at 7 wide receivers. I got my 2 tight ends that I'm good with. I got my 2 quarterbacks that I'm good with. So I'm in a spot to definitely start looking at the running back position as if I haven't been already. Taj, a nice priority. My none guy fits this team really well. I'm an idiot. He's gone. Figured. All right, that's okay. Let's do Taj. Who took Io Manor? When did he go? Yeah. Okay. What's it? I thought his ADP was. I kind of thought 190 was a safe bet for Io Manor, but that's okay. Yeah, somebody took Io Manor. Should I be worried about my Jacoby shares? Probably. How worried? I don't know. I don't have a good read yet. I don't have a good read yet on the whole trade rumor stuff. Man, this Torrey Horton fall is crazy. Man, Horton versus Manungai is making me sick to my stomach. I'm taking Hort. Oh shit. I couldn't help myself. You're right, Wade. You're right, Wade. Gunnar Helm last round. No, that's fair. I'll probably just leave. So one thing I will say about this particular tournament, I'm okay. Obviously, Io Manor was the preference here, right? I'm sad I didn't get Elik Io Manor, but it's 52 people in the final. We talked about the advancement structure. In round 15, you have to finish 2 of 8. In round 15. In week 15, you have to finish 2 of 8. In week 16, you have to finish 1 of 8. And then there's 52 people in the final. Yes, it would be great to have Elik Io Manor. I think he's just a good pick overall. He's certainly a great pick on this team. But like, if here are my wide receivers: Zay, T-Mac, Zay Flowers, Matthew Golden, Chris Olave, Juwan Jennings, Rashid Shaheed, and Luther Burden. And I'm going to have more. If all of those wide receivers fail so spectacularly that Elik Io Manor absolutely had to be on this team to win a 2 of 8, a 1 of 8, or a 1 of 52, so be it. I think that's okay. I would be more shook up, if this was the DraftKings Millie, where it's like, brother, you really got to hit an insane. You got to, I may not even be using Cam Ward. I may not give a shit about the Titans by the time we get to week 17 in a 52-person field. It would be better, I think, if we had Io Manor, but it's not the end of the world. So I'm not going to force a stack. Like Trey McBride and Harold Fannin is my bet at tight end. I'm not drafting another one for me personally. So I'm okay with the fact that I don't have Io Man on here. Maybe in some other tournaments. Like that's one of the small little differences in these higher stakes tournaments. Yep. As Shuby says, you have plenty. It's easy to forget the injured Tyjae Spears. Can someone Photoshop Jacoby in a Pats uniform? Yeah. I can't wait to see. There's just no way Jacoby Myers gets traded, I don't think, but would definitely be funny. Would definitely be funny. But yes, Makai asked about his. It's Jacoby Myers. You probably always were a little bit concerned, but certainly now it doesn't feel great. That's for sure. Heading into round 18 here. 2, 6, 7, 2 so far. Given where we landed at running back, we'll probably take 7 and 9 wide receivers. Another reason why I want to leave it at 2 tight ends and of course 2 quarterbacks. Wow. It worked. Shout out to the DraftKings gods. Torrey Horton falls all the way back. Slam dunk. Straight to the podium. Holy shit. That's amazing. I tried to take him over Manungai just now. So we'll take it. We will take it. Wade, one of the is a total sicko sharp here in the chat for sure. That's exactly what I was about to go look for. Hacks asked about Coker. Nope. No Coker. Hold on. Okay, so what I'm going to do, maybe not. Shit. I should have, this is why you don't stream these drafts. Oh no. It's over. We just autoed Darren Waller. This is why you don't stream these drafts. God fucking damn it. This is why you put a Q. Also, lesson learned. Just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. This is what I get for answering questions about Jacoby fucking Myers. Keep it coming. The wound is fresh. Put the salt in it. Only $500. No big deal. It's all right. I love that. There you go. It may work out. Hey, he's correlated. We took Ollie Gordon. Nothing says week 17 quite like Darren Waller. Okay. God damn it. All right. We're clicking some buttons now. We're fucking clicking some goddamn buttons now. And now we're gonna end with 6 running backs. God damn it! I literally had Booty queued or ready to roll. It's my own fault for not being prepared. Wait, just seriously wait till Darren Waller is the reason. If Darren Waller is the reason, I don't know how I'll be able to actually victory lap this. I'm really not sure. I'm gonna workshop it for 6 months. We got plenty of time to figure that one out. Let's see. Let's toss all my slappy wide receiver guys in the queue. Yeah, Kendre is Ken. What the hell? Is Kendre really gone? God damn. This is why you don't stream these drafts. This is ridiculous. Why are all these guys gone? How could this be? I was about to say, it's fucking Cavante Turpin gone? Jesus Christ. With Zay Jones? Did somebody say Zay fucking Jones too? I swear to God, whoever took Elik Manor, I'm going to go look up your address and I'm going to put it in my next tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern. It's going to be it all went to shit as soon as Elik Manor was gone. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. I'm sure he's gone. Yeah, I'm quite certain. Should we just literally take Vele's gone? Good God, man. No, Vele just went. What a draft. Dude, this is literally going to win $1 million. 100% this is going to win $1 million. Henny, I'm not doing Amari Cooper, so quit asking. It's not happening. I'm not doing it. Malik, yeah, you're right. Malik's probably fucking gone too. Yep, Malik Washington gone. Good God. Amari is gone. Malik is gone. Franklin Long gone. Fucking hell, man. Okay. It's okay. So I know the people are asking for Jalen Lane, and I know I just tried to take Kayshon Boutte, but I think I'm going to do Jordan Whittington. I'm totally fine with Jalen Lane, but Terry McLaurin re-signing, I think, still does hurt him a little bit. I like him. I still like him, but I'm I'm gonna put Jordan Whittington a little bit ahead of Jalen Lane here. So let's run it down. God damn it! Unbelievable. Jahmyr Gibbs, Trey McBride, Lamar Jackson, Teteroa McMillan. This definitely wasn't. If one pick torches, so this is funny. It is so funny because, like, it's like it tilts the living shit out of me, right? And it's really funny. Like, we'll joke about this for probably the whole season, especially if Darren Waller is absolutely useless, and especially if this team is good. However, isn't it funny? All of our opponents draft like a bunch of 3-4 quarterbacks, 3 and 4 tight end teams with absolutely shit tight end picks. And then I on a Harold Fannin team, I accidentally auto Darren Waller, and I'm just like distraught, and you guys are distraught. It's hilarious how this all works. It's like there's like a bunch of people with bags and bags of Tyler Shuck. There's people with bags of Darren Waller, and they're like, how do you think they feel? They did it intentionally. I'm not going to run back another 555. I am too distraught from this draft. But let's run this one down. All right. I do like this team. Sans one player. The rest of the team is good. 19 to 20 ain't bad. If you get a hit 19 out of 20 at bats in Major League Baseball, that's pretty good. So 19 out of 20, not bad. Jahmyr Gibbs, unbelievable. Jahmyr Gibbs out of the 103. Trey McBride and Lamar Jackson. So no wide receivers through 3. We dug out pretty good, though, I think. Teteroa McMillan, Zay Flowers, of course, with Lamar Jackson, Matthew Golden, Chris Olave, Juwan Jennings, Rashid Shaheed, Luther Burden. Went and got my guy Dylan Sampson, a priority. Also very happy now, given how this draft has played out, that we went and got Dylan Sampson. Yes, exactly, Nolan. Remember that time I autoed Waller and he outscored McBride? Ollie Gordon, of course. The reason why we autoed Darren Waller was naturally because Ollie Gordon. And we have a Bengals. We have a nice little Bengals. We have a nice little Dolphins bet here. Cam Ward, QB2. Harold Fannin went up and got my guy Harold Fannin. Feel good about that. Tyjae Spears, of course, buying the dip here at 171. I mean, Jesus, come on. We can buy the 171 price on Tyjae Spears, especially on DraftKings. Taj Brooks, Kyle Manungai. Love those late round running back picks. Torrey Horton, the fall was beautiful. And the Torrey Horton fall helped set up a Darren Waller auto pick when I was not prepared and talking about Jacoby Myers. And every single one of my favorite wide receivers was off the board. But we recovered, of course, with Jordan Whittington in the 20th round. I feel like we had a wonderful team that just got totally ruined by an absolutely ridiculous auto pick of Darren Waller. But as Shuby says, stacking up Saints, Browns, Titans, Dolphins. Pure sicko stuff. Was that a dinosaur? No, that was a husky, 9-year-old husky shepherd mix. Thank you, Wade. Thank you guys for joining. I am going to get out of here. We're going to make this a little bit of a short show. I will see you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern, Tuesday through Friday this week. Honestly, Tuesday through Friday moving forward, 10 a.m. Eastern. Tomorrow, we're going to recap the preseason and, of course, draft another best ball team. But thank you guys for hanging out and joining hilarious / disastrous / good DraftKings 555 team. Hopefully there was still something to glean despite an auto pick of Darren Waller. And we're going to try to do a couple more of these heading here down the stretch. I'm, of course, done with Best Ball Mania, but we're going to try to pop into some 555s. And they may be ad hoc like this. So appreciate you guys hanging out. And I will, of course, see all of you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern to talk about all the preseason fallouts. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.
Woo! Those were some spicy takes. Want to stay up to date with all of the other spicy takes we're going to have over here at Spike Week? Why don't you press that subscribe button below? You turn notifications on, we draft a team, boom, you know about it. We have another spicy take, boom, you know about it. You can be there. You can draft with us. You want to stay up to date? That's how you do it. All right, we'll catch you later next time here at Spike Week.